Okay, then it is live streaming. Right, let's begin then. The last session for the free paper series, I mean, for this batch. I hope you guys can see the screen. Yes, the paper. Okay, so the first question. So obviously they'll ask from which units? The first two units. Okay. I think let's see. I want you guys to try out this question quickly. Send me the answers you got. Okay, which of the following best represents the typical life cycle of data? Life cycle of data. Quickly drop in the chat box. Let's see. I think this was a bit tricky question. No, is that so? If you did it in a hurry, you might get it wrong. Don't put a question mark and send your answer. Be confident. Now it's the time you shouldn't doubt your answers, right? These are very direct questions as well. So, okay, be confident with your answer. Quick, others. So far, all good. Yes. When you see the last word of this, last two words of the options, you get the answer automatically. You see, I am still streaming in YouTube. Is that so? Check above in the Zoom, that live button is there. Click on that. It's like it is. Then what's the issue now? All good, right? The ones who asked about it live. Yes, okay, it's working. Right, sorry. Okay, which of the following best represents the typical life cycle of data? It is very easy. Option number 1. And most of you all got it correct. Right. So a standard life cycle, what does it begin with? We gather the raw information. So that is called as collection. And then you're converting and then you're storing it securely. Once it becomes inactive, once you're not using that data, you're storing it. That is known as archival, right? And then you're permanently destroying it when you don't need it, right? When you no longer need it, you permanently destroy it. That is known as deletion. Was that clear? The one who asked the meaning of those? Okay, good. Collecting data and then you're converting that data, right? So that is known as processing, and then you're utilizing it, and then you're storing it once it becomes inactive, and then when you no longer need it, you will delete that data. So that is the life cycle of data. Archival means storing it securely for a long term once it becomes inactive. Now clear? Yes, okay, good. Then moving on to the next one, we'll go a bit quickly on to waste time on the simple questions. Okay. Which of the following is the characteristics of open source software? Right? So there are two types of software. What are those? What is the other type? Okay, one correct answer. Great. So in this question, they are asking about the open source software. Limited customizations. It is not the characteristics of open source software, right? Internet is my real lagging. Okay, so in open source software with the source code, anyone can modify it. Yes, and limited customization, that is wrong because the source code is fully accessible, so you can customize it in however you want. It's infinite, not limited. So that is wrong. Then reliance on vendor for updates. This is also incorrect because the updates are what? Done by a community of developers, not by one vendor. Okay. Usage restricted by the owner, that is also false, right? Because anyone can use it for any purpose. And then the source code not being publicly available, that is the opposite. It is the definition of what? The closed source software. What is that? The proprietary software. The other type. Source code won't be available in that, right? So the answer is fifth one, being usually free to acquire and use. Some open source, that you can use it like half, not fully, for free. Type ones. But open source, the main characteristics, it is usually free to acquire and use. That's why they have put the word usually, because some softwares are there where you can use half free, with the half version you have to pay, right? Like a premium version. Okay, so that's easy, right? An online examination system is to alert students if they leave any mandatory questions unanswered before submission of their answers. Which data validation techniques are sufficient for this requirement? What type are they talking about here? They are alerting the students if they leave any mandatory questions unanswered. If you are leaving a question unanswered, that means it is what? Data type check, no. Data type and present check only, no. Data type won't come. So obviously 1, 2, 3 is wrong. The answer is fourth. It is a presence check, right? Because they're saying if you are leaving it unanswered, it will alert. So that answer should be there. So that is known as presence check. Range check, obviously it won't come. That is easy, right? So study these validation techniques a bit. Okay. Those have been tested of repeatedly. So yeah, study those types. Okay. Which of the following best describes a pointing device? I want you guys to quickly send me the answer in the chat box. Quick. Describes a pointing device. What is a pointing device? Only one correct answer. Confused? Think properly, guys. Think. It's easy. Think. A pointing device like a mouse, a trackpad, or joystick and all, it allows the user to what? Control a cursor on the user interface to interact with the system. Yes. So the answer is option number 1. It is used to control an indicator on the display, on the user interface, right? Let's say option number 2. It is used to digitalize a scene. That is what? This is a digital camera or a 3D scanner, you could say, that captures the real world and physical things and then convert them into digital data, right? Digital image. It is used to identify characters, that is OCR or MICR, magnetic ink character recognition, which scans printed or handwritten text and then converted into what? Editable digital text, right? Third one, can't it be data type and present check? No, why are you saying data type? Using what word in the scenario did they say? They said only if they're leaving any mandatory questions unanswered. Why are you saying data type check? The data type check is what? It is like you're using if that field should be an integer or it should be an float number, decimal number, like that. Those are data type check, right? But in this question, have they given anything like that? That the student, when they're entering the answers, they should enter in integers or anything. No, they are only saying what? They cannot leave any questions unanswered. So that is what? A presence check only. How will data type check come? No, we can't take. Clear, right? Okay, sorry. Back to fourth question. Yeah, answer is number one. Then it is used to what? Read codes. That is done by the barcode scanner or the QR reader, you could say it has. It would read the patterns to retrieve the product details and all, right? And then it is used to select images. This is just the tool that has which selecting images and all. So which of the following best describes a pointing device? That is option number one. Okay. Right. So this is how you usually, when you're practicing past papers, check why the other options are wrong right next to it. So option number three, why it is wrong, that is about an MICR and OCR, which is not a pointing device. Right. Okay. Which of the following is a secondary storage device in which the data is written in a sequential manner and can be read from in a random manner? So data is written in a sequential manner, but it can be read from a random manner. What is this secondary storage device they're talking about? It is CDR, first option, the compact disc. Okay. Option number two is wrong, CD-ROM, because why is it wrong? Even though you can read randomly, you cannot write it in a sequential way. So that is wrong. Magnetic tape, the data must be both written and read sequentially, right? So that's why that is wrong. And then solid state drive and USB, these are what? These are non-volatile flash memory. They support random read and random write, not sequential. Clear? Only in CDR, the data must be written sequentially and you can read it randomly. Okay. Then, okay, which of the following communication buses are involved in reading a data word from main memory? So this is also another important topic. It's better if you guys focus on the devices, on the communication buses, and what else? The validation techniques. Okay. So which of the following communication buses are involved in reading a data from main memory? This is an easy question, but some they overthink this question. If you are reading from memory, that is stored in where? Reading from memory means you need a memory location. That memory location is stored in where? The address bus. Okay, so option number A will come in. Then when you are sending the signal, when you're sending the command signal, what will help in the control bus? It will be sending the control signals, right? And then when you're transferring the actual data back to the CPU, the data bus will help in. So the answer is what? Option number 5, all A, B, and C are needed to read the data from main memory. Is that clear? Most of you all said 4. How will control bus not come in? So address bus, what will it have? It will have the physical address from the CPU to memory, right? It will say where the data is located, right? Control bus, it will transmit the control signals to initiate the operation, right? And then data bus, it will carry the actual data retrieved from that memory location back to the CPU. Was that clear? Once you got it wrong. Yes, okay. While an instruction is being executed in the CPU, that instructions and the relevant data are stored in the while an instruction is being executed, that instruction and the data is stored in where? In the registers. Yes. So address bus, data bus, these are all what? These are for the communication channels, not for storage. That's why those won't be coming in. And then the ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, it is performing what? The mathematical and logical calculation. It does not store instructions. So obviously that is also out, right? Control unit will what? It will manage and coordinate the components of the CPU, right? But it will not serve as a storage for data and instructions when you're executing. So the answer is option number 5, registers. These are what? High speed temporary storage locations inside the CPU. Okay. The instruction where it will be held in, it will be in the instruction register, right? And then the data operands are held in the data registers. So that's something extra. Right? Clear? If you didn't understand anything, let me know. I'm explaining why other answers are also wrong as well. Okay? If writing a 64-bit data word to a random access memory takes 0.625 seconds, how long will it take to read the same word back under the same conditions? How long will it take? So it's a bit different type of question, no? So random access memory, what it offers? Uniform access time, isn't it? So accessing any memory location takes a fixed amount of time. That is in random access memory, right? The time is fixed regardless of where it is and whether the operation is to read or write, right? So the timing will what? Remain unchanged. The answer is 3 itself. For this, you have to know the knowledge of random access. That is very easy. We learned during O-levels as well. Okay. Then which of the following is true regarding EEPROM, right? That is electrically erasable programmer read-only memory. Okay. It can store user data similar to RAM. That is false because it is a non-volatile read-only memory, unlike RAM, which is a volatile memory, right? So it's not similar to RAM. Okay, then both of its writing and reading speeds are same. That is false because the writing speed is what? Slower than reading from it. Okay. Then information written on it can be erased. That is true. It is electrically erasable, right? So the data stored can be erased and rewritten electronically. And then fourth one, it requires electric power to retain information. It is a non-volatile, meaning what? It is non-volatile. So that means its information, it can be stored, retained without requiring power. Yeah, because it is non-volatile. And the OS is stored in it, that is obvious and wrong answer. So answer is option number 3. Which option do you want me to explain again? Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. That is the full form. You guys are asking me full form now. Very nice. Eighth question. So random access memory, it will have what? Uniform access time, right? The access time would be same whether the operation is to read or write, right? It will have a fixed amount of time. When you're accessing any memory location, it will take a fixed amount of time, no matter where it is or whether the operation is to read or write. So the time will remain same. So they are taking over here how many? 0.625. So the same time will only be taken when you're reading the same word back under the same condition. Clear? That is about random access memory. It has a uniform time, right? Uniform access time. So if you're reading or writing, it will take same amount of time. Clear? Okay, good. Okay, then what is the correct hexadecimal equivalent of decimal 33.75? You guys want me to do this conversion? Quickly send a chat box. Chat box. They are asking the hexadecimal equivalent. Do and send, check if all of you got it correct. Want me to do? Okay. Until I do and send the answer. I'll be waiting. Don't wait for me. So if you're converting a decimal number to hexadecimal, how do you do? There are different methods. The main method you can take it as dividing 33 by what? 16. The base of hexadecimal is 16. So 33 if you divide by 16, get the reminders out. Okay. So dividing by 16, it would be 2 with a reminder 1. Isn't it? Yes. So 16 you cannot divide by 2. So 2 you cannot divide by 16. It would be a reminder 0. So you have to take the reminders from what? Bottom to top. Bottom to top in a sense in this direction. So then the answer would be what? 21 with the base. What's the base of hexadecimal? 16. So 21, 16. Right? That is the decimal to hexadecimal conversion. Okay, getting the reminders. See in the option there are 21. These 3 options are there. 4 options are there. Then 0.75. 0.75, what you should do? You should 0.7. If you are getting a point number, float number, I will erase this one. Okay. 0.75. If you're getting that number, what you should do? You should multiply that number with its base. What is the base? 16. So 75 when you multiply by 16, what is the answer you're getting? 12.0. Yes. So then you will take the 12 part out. 12 in hexadecimal, how will you write? 12 in hexadecimal. Quick in the chat box. 12, how will you write it in hexadecimal? There are many ways, but this is the easiest way, I would say. A float number should be multiplied by the base, right? And that's how you will get the answer. Well, you represent it in C, right? Hexadecimal. Then go and see the options. We got 21 earlier and C. So the answer is option number 5. Was that clear? This is an easy conversion here given. Yes, all good. Okay, well, good. Then if a document with 1024 characters is converted from EBCDIC to ASCII with parity bit, how much space would be saved? How much space would be saved? So EBCDIC, it uses what? 8 bits per character. So the total size would be 1024 into 8 bits. Okay. And then ASCII uses what? Standard ASCII uses 7 bits. And if you're adding a parity bit, it would be, you're adding 1 to it, right? That means total it will take how many characters? 8 bits per character, right? 8 bits per character. So then that size would be how much? That will also be 1024 into 8 bits. So both is what? Taking up what? Same spaces. Since both are using exactly 8 bits per character, there is no space saved. So then the saved space is 0 bits. Answer is option number 1. Okay. You're converting it from ABCID to ASCII with parity bit. Remember, ASCII or standard ASCII is 7 bits, and parity bit means you will add 1 to it. That will make it totally 8 bits. Then the characters into 824, sorry, 1024 characters into 8 bits. Okay. So when you compare it, both the encodings, it will use exactly 8 bits per character. That means there is no space saved. They ask me how much space would be saved, right? Is that clear? Got it? This year paper, they have given different type of questions. So see, they are giving a document with 1024 characters. Okay, and then they are, what are they saying? They are converting that from, right, EBCID, this encoding character, to ASCII encoding, okay, with parity bit. And they over here, they are not saying EBCDIC with parity bit. So that means that is only ASCII, they are converting it with parity bit. So that means they are adding 1 to the ASCII. Parity bit is 1, right? So adding 1 to it. So that one will become totally how many bits? So ASCII is taking 7 bits, parity 1, that will be taking 8. And then the EBCDIC will be, by default, it is having 8 bits itself, right? So, and then they are asking how much space would be saved when you are converting from this encoding to that encoding. So since both are having same bits, right, both are having 8 bits per character, there is no space saved, right, when you're converting this. Was that clear? Okay, sure, good. Okay, others clear? Okay, good. So EBC, the full form is what? Extended binary coded decimal interchange code, right? It always uses 8 bit. 8 bit means 1 byte to represent each character. And a standard ASCII uses 7 bits per character. Adding a parity bit will, you're adding a parity bit for what? For error checking. That means you're adding 1 bit. It will be total 8 bits. Okay. So that's how it is. Now, suppose if you're adding without, if you're converting without a parity bit, what will happen? But converting without a parity bit. Okay. So there is now, we'll think there are 10 characters. Okay. From EBCDIC to standard ASCII without a parity bit, you're converting the document. So then in EBCDIC, 10 characters into 8 bits. But in ASCII, 10 into 7 bits because there is no parity bit. Then totally how many you're getting from EBCDIC? You got how many bits? 80 bits because 10 into 8 is 80. ASCII 10 into 7 is 70. Then 80 bits minus 70 bits, you will get 10 bits. So that means in this case, you're saving how many? How much are you saving? The space saved is 10 bits, right? With the example I said now, because they haven't used parity bit. So there would be a difference if they haven't used the parity bit. Was that clear? Another scenario. Okay, good. Okay, then if the two signed numbers 185 and 96 are added using 8-bit registers, what is the value of the result stored in the relevant register? What is it? How do we get the answer to this question? Can someone say? Let's see who gets it correct. No, answer is wrong. Others, anyone who got the right answer? Let's see. Quick, quick. Good. One correct answer. So there are different ways. So one way is when you are getting the addition, you have to perform addition, right? 185 plus 96, you will get how much? 281. But 281, can you represent it in 8 bits? 281, can you represent it in 80 bits? You cannot, right? It will what? Cause an arithmetic overflow, right? So to find the value into the 8-bit sign, they asked 8-bit registers, right? You have to subtract how much? 256 from the total. 256 from the total. So then the answer would be 25. Why 256? That is 2 to the power 8, right? You cannot go beyond that. Right? And the range of numbers that you can represent in an 8-bit register is what? From minus 128 to plus 127. But over here, you're getting the answer 281, that is greater than that number, right? Because more than 127, you cannot go. Okay, so from the total, you just deduct that. You have to subtract the total from 2 to the power 8, which is 256, 256. So then 281, which is the answer you got when you perform the addition. You deduct it from 256, you will get the answer 25. That is the direct way. Right, so first what you have to do, convert the number into 8-bit binary, then perform the binary addition, right? I'm not doing that, you can do that. Convert the numbers to binary, right? 8 bits binary, and then you perform the binary addition. And when you are performing the addition, you will see that there would be one carry bit. Okay, wait 1 second. Let me do that then. That is another way. Right, so I'm what they are given 185. 185 they are giving. When I convert it into binary, I'll get the number 101110001, right? And when you're converting, what's the next number? They are given 96. You're converting that into binary, you will get 011. Okay, then what you have to do, you have to perform the binary addition. So when you're performing the binary addition, I'm typing it this way, but you do it from the left side, right? You will get the output as the function. Okay, what is happening over here? Is there totally 8 bits? They said 8 bits registered, right? But here we are getting 1 bit out, 1 bit extra. That is what known as the carry bit. So you ignore the carry bit and then you calculate the remaining bits. An 8-bit register only stores the what? The 8 bits only. So the leftmost carry bit 1 overflows and you just discard it, right? So then the stored value would be this only this 8 bits. Convert it into decimal, what is the answer you're getting? 25. Simple. That's another way. See? Clear? Yes. Ones who asked, quick, let me know. Right, so carry bit is gone. Discard it. Okay, then they are given about a flip-flop. Which of the following statements will be true when this is 0 and when this is 1, right? So let's see this question. Q output will remain at 0 and Q bar output will remain at 1. Okay, so what flip-flop is this? This is a NAND or NOR? A NOR flip-flop. So in a NOR flip-flop, Q would be equal to what? Q would be equal to, wait, What is that? Okay, so in a NOR gate, the output is 1 only if both the inputs are what? 0. So if any input is 1, the output is what? 0. Then Q output will change to 1 and Q bar output will change to 0. Yes. Uh, yes. Second, okay. Is my audio lagging? No, right? Yeah. Since someone else confirmed. Okay, so the top gate will produce the output Q. The below gate is bottom gate is producing the output what? Q bar with the input 1, right? So the logic rule for an OR gate is if any input is 1, the output will become 0, and if the output is 1 only if both the inputs are 0. That is about NOR gate, right? So when the inputs are changed to 0 and this one to 1, what is happening to the bottom gate, right? The inputs to the bottom gate NOR are now what? This is 1 and then Q is becoming Q bar. Since this is becoming 1, the Q bar is forced to what? Q bar is forced to 0. Got it? So Q bar will then change to from 1 to 0. Then the top gate, if you see the new value of Q bar is what now? 0. So when you are feeding it back to the NOR gate, the top gate, the input to the gate is what they are given? 0. So then the output would be what? Q will change from 0 to 1. Right? So then the answer is option number 2. Was that clear? You have to apply the logical rule of the NOR gate, right? If any input is 1, the output becomes 0, and if the right the output is 1 only if both the inputs are 0. So here one input is becoming 1, right? So then the output Q is what? Okay, changing. Was that clear? Yes, yes. Okay, so if I can, I'll put up a session for this unit 4. It's a bit tricky. Explaining this in depth here will take a lot of time for those who don't know this logic. Okay. Okay, then what is the most simple Boolean expression that can be obtained through the given K map? So how do you map in the powers of 2? Yes. Do we map, I mean, using the largest number or the lowest number? So if you could map 4s, would you be mapping using 4 or 2? You're saying this. So groups of 2. Then you can map it in this way. You can take this column and then this row, right? And then this one as well. Okay. So for this one, when you group, what is the answer? What will you get as the output? You will get this one. It is Z. It is what? X and Z. X and Z. Yeah. Why? Because Z is common, and then when you're comparing both rows, check which is common. So you have XY and here you have X and Y bar. So Y bar is not common, right? Between both these, only X is common. So take X out. And this one entire row is being used, which is Z, only not Z bar, right? So then take that also out. So this grouping, this is the Boolean expression. For this grouping, one entire row is being used and different column, sorry, one entire column is being used in different column rows. Then what would be the answer? No, wait, so I said I forgot one thing. I just noticed that. Yeah, so the one said that we have to wrap it around first. I took it in that way. That's the thing. Right? So what you have to do when you're grouping it, you have to group it in large fours, right? You can wrap it. So when you can wrap it, you have to do that. Then it will be taking this and then this out. And then this. Yes? Am I correct or no? Yeah. Then when you're wrapping this and this one, what will be the answer? These two columns, compare and see what is the common factor. Y bar, isn't it? It is Y bar only, is it will not be coming out. And this one, what we got? Y, sorry, X and Z, right? So then the answer is option number 3. I'm really sorry, I didn't notice that. Okay, clear? Yes. So when you can wrap 4 cells, you have to do that first. You cannot group it separately by 2s. You have to group it by 4s. The highest number in powers of 2. So this no logic gate thing, the one should understand. You drop me a message later. I'll explain that in WhatsApp because explaining here would take a bit time. That's the logic of NOR gate. Let's move on to others. Okay. So consider the following two statements P and Q. P data is represented as a sequence of discrete values in a digital signal. Even Q, okay, even with some corruption, a digital signal is easier to correctly interpret than an analog signal. Okay, which of the following is correct regarding the above two statements? Both statements P and Q are correct, and the point presented in statement P gives the reason for the point presented in statement Q. So data represented has a sequence of discrete values in a data is represented in a digital signal. Is that how we represent the values? Yes or no? Quickly say. Yes, it is. Right? That's how we represent in a digital signal. Okay, even with some corruption, a digital signal is easier to correctly interpret than an analog signal. That is also true, even if whatever it is, even if there is some corruption or error or whatever, we can correctly interpret it than an analog signal, right? So analog signals, you get it from what? Like nature, like temperature, weather, and all those analog signals. So then option number 1 is correct because it is also statement P. It gives the reason for the point presented in Q. Okay. Why is this easier to correctly interpret? Because it is represent as a sequence of discrete values. Is that clear? Other options are wrong then. Discrete values means it is representing zeros and ones, right? Digital signals, they use zeros and ones to represent data, right? So if there is an if there's any interruption in the noise or whatever, it will not alter the signals. But in analog signal, if there is any, corruption, like if there is any noise being added to it, it will be hard to correctly interpret it, sorry. Okay. Okay, then what does the term attenuation refers in the signal transmission? What does attenuation means? Alteration in the properties of a transmitted signal. What is this about? It is not about attenuation. Then what is it about? If there is an alteration in the properties of a signal, quick guys, reply for this. Let's see. They are speaking about distortion, right? Where the actual shape or the waveform of the signal is deformed, right? So that is distortion. And option number 2, increase in the signal strength. This is what? Amplification. This is the opposite of attenuation, right? So loss of signal energy as it travels over a distance is attenuation. Attenuation. Time delay in propagation delay, or you can say it as latency, right? It is representing the time that it takes for a signal to travel from a source to a destination. Okay. And then the received signal makes no meaning. This is what? Corruption. Okay. So then answer is option number 3. This is very easy. Remember, the loss of signal due to the distance is known as attenuation. Okay. Which of the following is the frequency of the carrier signal? Sorry, in which of the following is the frequency of the carrier signal varied according to the message signal? It is in frequency modulation. They are speaking about frequency, so it is frequency modulation. Okay. Alright. Then okay, the frequency of the analog wave, like and the carrier signal, right, is varied. According to the message signal. So message signal is what? An analog signal. Yes, it is an analog message signal. So in this they are asking which of the following is the frequency of this signal is varied according to the analog signal, that is in frequency modulation. Very easy. If they're speaking about the frequency, it is frequency modulation. About amplitude modulation, amplitude shift keying, what does happen in those? It varies the amplitude, the strength of the carrier signal, but the frequency will remain constant in those, right? Okay. Then which of the following statements are correct regarding the bus topology? So it consists of a main cable with transmitters at each end. That is true. Obviously, it has a main cable and with terminators at each end. So that is correct. Then B, devices in the topology are directly connected to each other. That is false. Then in what topology is it connected to each other? In which topology are the devices connected to each other? So in this, the devices are connected to a central cable, right? Not directly to each other. In other topologies like star, mesh topology and all, it can be connected to each other. Ring also. Okay. So there is more than one answer. Right. So this option number B is wrong. They ask about bus topology. In bus topology, they are not connected to each other directly, but through a central cable. Okay, then option number C, problems occur when multiple nodes try to access the medium at the same time. Yes, data collision do occur because they are using what when the nodes attempt to simultaneously transmit on a shared medium, because there is just one main cable being used. So then collisions will occur when they are trying to access the medium simultaneously at the same time. Okay, so answer is option number 3, A and C. Clear? Bus topology is very easy. So study about the characteristics of the topologies as well, and about this attenuation, distortion, and everything also study. Those have been repeatedly tested. And the network devices like network switch, hub, and everything. Okay, so here they're asking the best of question number 19, right? Which of the following statements best describes the primary function of a network switch? Okay, a network switch, what does it do? It amplifies and regenerates signals to travel over large distances What are they talking? They are not talking about a switch, but what device are they talking about over here? Amplifying and regenerating signal to travel over large distance. It is a repeater or a hub, we could say. That is what it does. Then option number 2, it connects devices within a LAN and forwards frame based on the MAC addresses. This is correct. This is about this network switch, right? So this is happening what? A network switch operates mainly in where? In the data link layer, layer 2 of the OSI model. What does it do? It connects multiple devices like computers, printers, and servers within the same LAN local area network, and then direct data only to its intended recipient, right? Destination. Okay, then option number 3, it connects multiple networks together and then routes data traffic between them. That is about the router, right? That happens in the layer 3. And then it encrypts data before transmitting them through the network. This is about, you can say, like firewalls, VPN gateways. This is handled by the security devices, okay? Encryption and all. It maps domain names into IP addresses. Which one does it? This is a function of what are they speaking over here? Option number 5, mapping the domain names into IP addresses. Quickly say, this is very easy. They're speaking about the, guys, reply quick. Mapping domain names into IP addresses is done by the DNS, the domain name system. Forgot. Can't remember. Okay. DNS, the domain name system. Okay, then which of the following statement describes the role of the MAC protocol, Media Access Control Protocol? It ensures orderly access to a shared communication medium. What have you sent? Forgot. Oh, about DNS. Very nice. Not revising, exam in few days. Okay. So yeah, it ensures orderly access to a shared communication medium. It finds paths and then routes data between network hosts. Is this correct about the MAC protocol? So in MAC protocol, there are sublayers such as what? CSMA, CD, CSMA, CA. Don't ask me the full form and everything. Okay, go and study that. Revise that. It controls how the devices share a communication transmission medium. Okay, so that is true. And option number B, it is false because what? The routing is handled by the network layer, right? It is not done in the MAC sub layer, right? Not by the media access control protocol. Then C, it provides unique addresses to identify network interfaces within a LAN. That is true. Every NIC has a unique MAC address used for identification on a local network. So then the answer is option number A and C. Clear? Okay. Which of the following ISO OSI layers is responsible for the establishment and maintenance of end-to-end reliable connection? Which one does that? Application layer? No. Why? Because it provides what? Network services directly to the user applications. Data link layer, that is responsible for hop to hop, means node to node delivery, not end to end reliable connection. Network layer, that is also incorrect because that is responsible for what? Host to host packet routing across different networks. Yes. Then the physical layer, that is also incorrect because it handles what? The bit transmission over physical media. So the answer is option number 5, transport layer. Transport layer, which is the layer 4, it manages end-to-end communication, error detection, flow control, and data reliability. It uses protocols like what? In transport layer, what name? Say me one protocol which is being used from the transport layer. One protocol, quick, guys. Like TCP protocol. Yes. So was that clear? Application layer, they provide network services directly to user applications. Data link layer, it is responsible to node to node delivery, not end to end. Network layer for the routing across different networks. Okay. So study that OSI network layers and everything. Also focus on the UDP and TCP differences as well. Okay, they have tested that often. Okay, then this is unit 7. Which of the following is true about open systems? They operate independently without external software or hardware. This is false. Why is it false? No one has the answer. Why is option number 1 false? Okay, answer you're saying 3. Okay. So this is incorrect because open systems are designed to what? Connect, communicate, and interact with external systems, not independently. Right? Okay. They're saying without no, but it is with external software. So that's the wrong thing. Then they limit interoperability to maintain internal control. That is incorrect. They are describing over here what? A closed system, right? Then third one, they support interoperability, portability, integration using common standards. That is true, right? Open source, they use industry-wide standards and also you can what? This allows the software to be easily moved across platforms, that is known as portability, and exchange data smoothly. That is known as integration and interoperability. Okay, so then they improve performance by restricting third party. So that is false. Restricting third party is what about a closed system, not open system. They are often incompatible with applications from other platforms. That is incorrect. That is high compatibility. It has high compatibility. Okay. Then another one. So this is also another important topic, the information systems, right? Okay, then a system that stores and distributes organization information such as best practices and expertise to employees. That is what? Which system does it? The it is storing and distributing information. It is done in the knowledge management system. Okay. Then a system that helps managers to analyze complex data, to identify patterns and make business predictions. That is done by the, it's helping whom? The managers. Managers are middle level users, so that is supporting what? The decision support system, right? Decision support system. Okay. A system that integrates various business processes like accounting, procurement, and supply chain. So whenever they say various business processes, they are including everything, right? So that is done by always the in enterprise resource planning system, the ERP system. So then when you match it, the answer would be option number 3. Okay. Right, then which of the following system development lifecycle models facilitate iterative develop and accommodate changing requirements? So spiral, does it have iterative development? Yes, it has. Agile, yes. Can you accommodate changing requirements in both? Yes. Prototyping, does it have iterative development and changing requirements? Can you change requirements later? Yes, in all three you can. So then the answer is option number 5. Is that clear? Or does anyone want me to explain this concept? Quickly say yes or no. If they are speaking about the risk factor, which one is most suitable? Agile or spiral? Which model is most suitable? If they are speaking about the risk factor, not requirements, about the risk analysis, which system would be most suitable? Agile or spiral? Quick, everyone, guys. I want all of you to reply. Shall I pick some and say ask questions? Harder questions than this? Okay, I won't. So don't. So if they are producing a software which has a lot of risk, something like this, when it is developing, the best model to use is spiral model, right? So if they're speaking about risk factor, then spiral would be the best answer. Okay. Okay, then column A is listing the phases of the waterfall model. Okay, so then they are saying to match it with it. Updating the software after deployment, that is done in which phase? Quick, I want viewers to reply fast. Is it A5, A4? Just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. For B1, is it what? Quickly say updating the software after deployment. That is done in which phase? Maintenance. Yes, correct. Then writing codes based on detailed system specifications is sure. Check your answers. Check your answers. Okay, if you're confused with this, we'll go to the next one. Validating whether the system meets user needs and functions correctly. That is done in Very easy testing. Okay. Then identify what the system should do through discussions with stakeholders. That is done in requirement analysis because I identify what should the system do, right? Creating detailed technical architecture and data flow diagrams is system design. So some of you got system design for what? Writing codes based on detailed system specifications. Okay. Is that clear? So then they are saying what is the correctly matched phase description pair? So A1, A5, sorry, B5, A1, B5, that is, wait a second. I have messed it up. Let me erase this thing. Even I'm confused. I don't know. Okay. This one, right? Okay. So then that is wrong because it is not matching with B5. B5. Then A2 with B4, they are saying A2 with B4. That is wrong. Not system design is matching with what? B5 instead, not B4. So that is also wrong. Then A3 with B2, that is correct, right? The coding phase where implementation is the coding phase where the developers will write the software code based on the design specifications. Okay, so that is correct. If then our remaining are wrong, right? So I already mentioned showed you the answers, right? Yes. Okay. Mm. Assume that a project is to be done to computerize the administration of all government schools. The system developers in this project have been advised to use the SSADM for it. What is the key benefit for using SSADM in this project? It allows faster development with minimal documentation. That is false, right? What is the false factor over here? Is it minimal documentation or faster thing? You have to think this is how you do MCQs. You should think why it is wrong. This is slower, right? And it also requires more documentation. So that's why it is wrong. It does not have minimal documentation and all. Okay. It avoids documentation effort completely. That is false. It needs a documentation. Eliminates the need for system analysis. That is a part of SSADM. So that is also false because it literally stands, the name itself is saying, see, structured system analysis. So that is not the key benefit. It encourages rapid software deployment. This is about what? Agile or rapid application development. But SSADM is false. It is slower. Okay. So the answer is option number 5. To ensure standardization and consistency of the entire project. So it is highly disciplined and document heavy approach, right? This is well suited for what? Government projects. They're asking about government schools now over here. So be careful. They're talking about governments, all government schools and all. So option number 1, 2, and 4, they're speaking about agile and rapid application development as well. Mix of it. Yes, what is the time now? Let me. Okay. You guys need a break now. We are done with 26 questions. How many minutes is enough? Yeah, so 7:15. Can you be back at 7:15? Okay? Yes, you should be back. Don't escape after the break. I can remember the names. Yeah, so be back at 7:15. I'll drop a message in the group. You can stay in the Zoom and just keep your phone and go and play and come back. Okay. Are you all there? Yes. Drop a message. See where others missing. It's late for like 2 minutes. I was there. Drop a message. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Good. Kept the screen as left or so until then you can try do these questions. Where the usual ones are missing now. But if I give a break, say a time will come later. Let's begin then. If we wait, it will take too long. Okay. Okay. So, which of the following statements about system testing are correct? It verifies that the complete and integrated system meets the specified requirements. This is true. Yes. And B, it is normally performed by end users to validate software functionality. This is false. System testing isn't done by end users, right? Normally. So that is false. Then C, it is performed before unit testing in the standard software testing lifecycle. That is false. System testing is done at the very end. Okay. So then, sorry. Then the answer is option number 1, A only. Okay, so that was easy. A software tester reviews a code path that calculates a discount based on a person's age and purchase history by manually tracing each if then else condition branch. What testing is this? A software tester is doing a code part and then that calculates a discount based on the person's age and purchase history. Right? What are they speaking about here then? About white box testing. That is where the code and all is visible. Yes. Okay. So in white box testing the code visible? No. Okay. So that's about it. Know the differences between black box and white box testing as well. Okay. A university replaced its old LMS with a new one. However, the new LMS was initially made available only for the first year students. After this successful trial, it was made available for the other students too by stopping using the old LMS completely and starting the new LMS on a specific date. What are they speaking about here? The first scenario they are speaking about pilot, right? But in the second scenario, they are saying they are stopping the use of the old LMS completely and starting the new one. So when you are stopping a new one, starting a new one, that is known as what? Direct. So then the answer is option number 3. Pilot, first you will do for a set of people, test it, and if it is successful, you move on to the rest of the departments, like that is known as pilot. Direct, you're stopping the use of old one and starting to use new software. Okay, clear, right? So when you are going through scenario case questions, have a pencil or pen and better use the pencil. Underline the keywords. What are they saying when you, while you're reading itself? That one will what? Save time. Okay. Okay. Assume that a vehicle maintenance information system is to be developed while a vehicle's registration number is input to the system. Okay. The system should output the maintenance work records of the vehicle to the user. Example, on August 19, 2025, the oil of this vehicle was changed. A service station made, okay, service station that happens when I use the word is, okay, a service station manager should be able to what? Add new work records to the system whenever such work is done to the vehicle. Okay, shown below is the first level DFT of the system. So they are asking to fill in the blanks for this. Okay, let's see then. They are given the user, they are given two processes and the one data store. Okay, so in user, what should they do? They say the vehicle's register number is the input. So in that case, P would be what? Registration number. So then option number 1 would be out, option number 2 would be out, option number 5 also out, because P only these two as registration number. Then they are saying, but in what process will it be stored? In the when you're inputting it, after what is happening, it should output the maintenance work records. So it is displaying the work records. So then it will be option number 4. Because in option number 3, they are saying add work record, right? So we are adding the work record at the very end. That one will happen where then? At T. It will be happening at T. Okay. Because they are saying that the station manager should be able to add. So if he is adding, T would be that. And it would be storing in what data stored? In the work history. Work history. All right. So then the answer is option number 4. That correctly matches. So let's see what is S. S is work records. That is there, right? The service station manager is adding new records and also the inputting the registration number in what data. So in what process? The add work process, and then the new work record is being stored in what data store? The work history data store. Okay. Is that clear? Yes. Quickly drop a yes or no chat box in the chat box. So this one you go with the flow. All right, go with the flow for these kind of questions. Others, let me know. Was it clear? See the scenario and match you to it. They're saying input should be what? See, I will underline when I was going through it. Registration number. So that means users inputting registration number. That is P. Very easy. Think that way. Okay. And they're giving service station manager should also be able to add new work records whenever such work is done to the vehicle. So T is that. P already you found out, right? Okay, I hope that's clear. Answers option number 4. Then unit 8. Consider the following relations from a database at a university. The database is used to keep data about the marks of students taking different courses, the teacher who teaches the courses, and the department that each teacher is working at. Which of the following is not a foreign key in this schema? Student ID in the result relation. Student ID, is it a foreign key? Yes, it is a foreign key in the relation. They are asking not right. So student ID in the result relation, it is a foreign key. Course ID, it is in the result relation, that is also a foreign key because course ID is the primary key of what? The course table. So for the result relation, it is a foreign key, right? So student ID, the student relation table, that is the answer. Student ID is what? A primary key. So that means it is not a foreign key, right? In the student relation table. So that is the answer. Student ID in the course relation, that is a foreign key. Department ID in the teacher relation, this one, that is also a foreign key. Okay, clear? Yes. Let me know. Okay. Consider the following schema of a table that is designed to store data about students. Okay. Which of the following statements are true? Student name cannot be empty when inserting a record. Is it true or false? That is true. It cannot be empty. They are put no, right, for null, right? So that is true. Then the same email address could be entered for two students. Same email address could be entered for two students. That is also true. Yes, you can, because they will make it a primary key to be unique. Right. Inserting a student without specifying the student ID will result in an error message. That is false. Right. So answer is option number 4, A and B only. It will not result in an error message. Is that clear? Yes, let me know please. So we can move on to the next one. That's it for Unit 8. They didn't test much on Unit 8. They tested last year more on Unit 7. So we can see up thing, right? So in this C option, if you see why it will not result in an error message, because if you see this extra column, right? Extra column, they are saying auto increment, right? So the student ID column has the attribute what? Auto increment listed under extra. Okay. This means the database will automatically generate a unique value if we did not provide one. So it will not result in an error message. Okay. So that is another new thing you have to know. That's why option number C is, option C is wrong. Let's see 33 then. Which of these is an advantage of using a compiled language to an interpreted language for implementing a program? Okay. Less development time, that is false, because interpreted languages typically offer faster development, right? Then compilation. Because compiling, you have to go what? Line by line. But interpreted language, you go by once. Okay, you go at once. Then easier debugging, that is also false. Interpreted languages make debugging easier by executing line by line. They are asking advantage of compiled language, right? So easier debugging is in what? Interpreted interpreted languages. Then faster execution of the developed program, that is true because compiled languages translate code directly into machine language before execution, right? So answer is option number 3. Portability of the developed program, that is not that. Right? Error detection at program runtime is done by the interpreter, right? Because in compiled languages, they detect the error, syntax errors and all during the compilation phase before the runtime. Okay, so know the differences between what's a compiler and interpreter. Okay, that is also important. So I'm saying you some topics to focus on. To focus it on. Assembler is a translator for the assembly language. So which of these following statements are correct? They are asking. Yes, that is true. Compilers detect only logical errors when compiling a program. That is false. Program compilation is a major risk of the operating system. That is also false. An interpreter converts, is correct, right? Converts a program completely to an executable file. This is about what? Completely to an executable file is about a compiler, not an interpreter. So that is also false. The answer is option number A only. Yes, clear? Okay, which of the following gives the correct data types of A, B, C, and D? There's a similar question in one paper, no, for this past paper. So first one is what? It is a float number. B is string because they have used inverted commas. So whatever inside that is that. And they have used over here rounded brackets. So that is a tuple. And here this is a Boolean value. Okay. So answer is option number 5. Thirty-four C is wrong. Yeah, C is wrong. Program compilation is a major task of the operating system. Of the operating system, is that a major task of the OS? No, right? Think logically. Okay. What is the execution output of the following Python expression? So here, what do you have to use? The Python operator precedence. When you use it that way, what is the output? Let's see. First, we have tuple indexing. So 1, 2, 3 element at minus 1, 1, 2, 3. And then you have multiplication. So this one is what? Minus 1 is accessing the last element of the tuple. That is what? Minus 1 means 3. So 3 and you have multiplication, right? So then 3 into 3, it is, oh wait, sorry. It is plus. Okay, sorry. So first you have to solve this multiplication. 3 into 4 is very easy, 12, right? Then here you get the answer as 3 over here because you're what? Getting the last value of the tuple minus 1. Then 3 plus 12, the answer is 15. Got it? Option number 2. Let's do the multiplication. This is an easy operator precedence question they are given in this year paper. Okay. What is the execution output of the following Python code? Okay, they are given xtp for I in x if integer I int I t equal to That's what's happening. The condition evaluates to 1 only when I is 1. Okay, since int they're saying int I, not 1. So it will be iterating 5 times, right? Yeah, 5 times. When I is becoming 0, P is becoming 0. So when I is becoming 0, what is happening? Then this is I saw this as 1. Is the others possible? Are they, did they give this as 1 or I? Or is this one showing a mistake? I am getting mixed. Okay. First iteration, when they're getting the value what? 0. You're getting the value I is becoming 0. That means T will also become 0 itself. But P will be increasing, right? So 0 plus 1 will become 1. Yeah. When you're getting the second iteration as 1, what is happening? The condition is becoming true. That means this one t equal t plus 2, that means 0 plus 2, this one would be 1, right? It will be equal to what? In the second iteration, t is becoming 2, okay? T is becoming 2. Then p would be increasing 1. It is p was earlier 1, now you're increasing it by 1, so then it is becoming 2 now. The third iteration, you're getting the number again, what? 1, right? So then it is becoming true. When the condition is becoming true, t equal 2, 2 plus 2, right? 2 to the power 2 is what? 4. So 2 plus 4 is becoming now, t is becoming 6 in the third iteration. P is becoming 3. So P is what? Getting the count. Okay. They're saying to print T. In the fourth iteration, T is becoming 6 itself because it is what? The value is 0. Then again, the fifth iteration, when you're getting value 1, you're going through this condition. In this, T was 6, so 6 plus 2, 2 to the power 4. P was what? P was 4, right? P was 4, 2 to the power 4, it is 16. So 6 plus 16, it is 22. P is becoming 5. So answer is then 22 itself. Okay. Just go with the flow and do and see it. Okay. Then they are given Python code has been able to display all records from the book table. Okay. Which of the following give correct replacement for A, B, and C? mydb.cursor, no, it won't come over there. You are making a connection, so mydb.connector.connect will come. So then option number 1, 4, 5 will be eliminated. Okay, option number 2 is there, option number 3 is there. Let's see B. What is happening? My cursor equal, what are you doing? What are you supposed to do? mydb.cursor will come now only. You want to open it, right? So then option number 2 is matching. Let's see what is happening. My cursor dot execute. You're putting inside the brackets what? Select all from book. Was that clear? This is, you have to memorize this thing is better for some Memorizing this is only better. Right? MyDB equals, you're making the connection. So connector.connect, mysql.connector.connect, this thing like that. Just put dot connect at the end. Then from there, my cursor equal mydb.cursor. This one and this one, you dot connect it. Then see what is happening. You are putting the SQL query. Select from book, and also remember it should be under what? Inverted commas inside this bracket. Okay. Now assume that you have to design the following systems. For which of them will you require the users to log into the system with usernames and password in order for them to use these systems? LMS for students to download learning resources and upload assignments. Right? This is like general knowledge question, no? So yeah, A, for this you will obviously make the require, right? I mean, make the users to log in using their username and passwords, right? An online banking system to let users transfer fund to other users. Yes, you will definitely use a part of security, right? A system to let the public know about the services of a government department and its operating hours. No, you won't. Why? Because you're letting the public know. So why do you need to make them? Why do you need to secure it by putting password, usernames, and all? They can just come and access it. So then the answer would be option number 2, A and B only. Okay. This is like a general knowledge question. No? Then they have HTML. Assume that she has reached largely. Okay, these are three files also in the same folder of her computer. Okay, on her desktop computer. The picture element can be used to specify different images to display for different devices. So let's just move on to the statements and come back to the note. Okay. Which of the following statements are true? A. This file is using an external style sheet. Is that true or false? Is this file using an external style sheet? Yes, it is. It is using an external style sheet. Okay. When Nitya opens this file through the largest browser window of her computer, the beach small.jpg image is displayed. Let's see what is that when opens to the largest beach small. Where is beach small? It is over here, right? The picture element can be used to specify different images to be displayed for different devices. Is that true or false? Quickly say. Oh, wait, sorry, oh, God, I misunderstood this. Right. This is not using Excel style sheet. This is the HTML code name. I was thinking it as external style sheet. Sorry for that inconvenience. Okay. So that is also false, right? They didn't think, see the code and see option number B. Okay, so there is no external like style sheet. There isn't plain link equal style sheet and all. So I didn't see that part. anyway in the code. Okay. Then D is false because the picture element evaluates the media from top to bottom, right? So for the largest browser window, the condition should be met. Then which one will be displayed instead? Beach large will only be displayed, but here they have given what name? When Nitya opens this file, the beach small image is being displayed to the largest browser. That is false, right? It should be other image, not this image. Okay, when Nitya emails only the beach.html file to Kamala, and when Kamala opens it through her smartphone, the small beach pitch image is displayed. That is true. So that is only the answer. Because that is a phone, her smartphone. Kamala only received the HTML file, not the image files, right? So when an image cannot be found or loaded, the browser will display the alternative text specified in the alt. See away. Yeah. So in that case, what is happening? For a smartphone, only that alt text will be displayed. Clear? They are saying the small beach picture text is displayed when Kamala is opening through her smartphone. So that is true because of the alt condition. Okay. Alt text. Okay, then this let's see what are they asking. Blanks. So zero trash, very easy. That is what? Zero trash, it is H1. So then option number 4 and 5 is eliminated. Right? Then what is D? Is a low cost is a paragraph tag. There are still options remaining. Then C, what will you put? Your source equal rings dot, that is an image. So for image source, what you will use? IMG. So then option number 3 is also eliminated because they are using href, right? Then D, be happy that you are. So this text is there. They are using what? It is being italic. So that means they are using EM. The another similar tag for italic tag is emphasize, that is EM, right? Let's see the last one. Watch a video on the method. They are using AE tag. So then what would be the answer? You want you obviously you want to use video, instead you will be using the href tag. Ref tag. So answer is option number 1. When you match and see, do in your paper and see. And know the similar terms. So they are tested in this one. Can you see it's italic, right? But in the options they haven't given italic, they have given EM. So that's a similar tag for italic. So know that also. Which of the following is the correct way to include shop.css external file to an HTML file? How do you do that? Very easy. Option number 5. Link rel equal right style sheet, and then you have to put the name of it, shop.css. So no, have a note on this. Have a note on this. Okay. Right. Which of the following technology is most convenient to make the color of all the second level H2 headings of a website to blue? What is the most suitable tag? So technology, not tag. Obviously, CSS, right? Because it has grouping selectors, and also you can put H2 inside that, color equal blue, color blue, like that in CSS, right? So that is the most convenient way to make all of it blue. Which of the following statements are true? So this is about IoT. Even when analog inputs are given to the digital pins of an Arduino board, they are read as analog values. That is false, right? It won't be read as analog values. So analog, okay. The USB port of an Arduino board can also be used to supply direct current electric port to it. Yes, that is true. It's another use of the USB port. Have a note on this also. To input the room temperature to an Arduino board, the Vout pin of the LM35 temperature sensor could be used. Yes, it could be. If you want to input the room temperature. So then answer is option number 4. Okay, so over here you have to match the pins. So if PQ, which is the input pin mode, motor pin, is it an input or an output? Let me know quickly in the chat box. Motor pin is in, sensor pin is input, motor pin is output. So P is obviously output. Then option number 1 and 2 is eliminated. Then Q. So int sensor value equal, is it digital or analog? It is. A sensor value would be in what? This is a design, this code is designed for an Arduino board to switch on and off a motor based on a room temperature. And room temperature is an analog thing, analog signal. So obviously here it would be what? Analog read. It would be analog read. So then option number 5 is also out because they have put digital right? Then R would be what? Digital write. So R would be digital write. S, what will happen to S? Would it be sensor pin or motor pin? The value of what pin should go up and down? Base, you're getting the room temperature. Okay. You're checking analog reading. The motor pin, right? So think it in that way. Motor pin will be running. They said, right, to switch on and off. High means on the motor pin, on the motor. Low means off the motor. Based on what? Digital read. You're reading this float number and everything. That is then digital read. Okay, so answer is option number 3 then. Think logically, even if you didn't study this chapter, think logically and see. Like P, I said motor pin, what is it? Sensor pin, motor pin. Say motor sensor is an analog thing. Motor pin is a digital thing. What about, sorry. And is it an input and output? Sensor is room temperature is getting the input. Output is the motor, right? Based on the room temperature, it will run, so that will be the output. Think logically and answer. Is that clear? Yes. Drop me a yes chat box quickly. Let's see if you guys are there with me. So you have to answer 46 also with this question. Okay. The for the temperature sensor could have been connected to any of the pins 1 to 5 as well, but then the constant sensor line in the code should be changed with that change. So if you are getting the input from the sensor A1 to A5, you have to change that. Is that true or false? That is true. Yes, it should be changed, right? If you are getting the input from the other pin numbers from A to 5. Okay. The motor should be connected to a GND pin of the Arduino board. That is false. The above code, when correctly completed, can be compiled and uploaded through the USB port to the Arduino microcontroller by using the upload button in the Arduino IDE. So this is a connection between the software, the hardware and all. And yes, you have a button called upload button. When you click on that, the above code will be correctly complete. When correct, it will be compiled and uploaded through that USB port. Yeah, okay. So then answer would be option number 3, A and C only. Was that clear? So why B is wrong? You can see a motor requires both a signal, right? But and a ground connection, GND. They are saying over here the GN motor should be connected to a GND pin. It should be connected to both pin, not only a GND pin. So that's why B is wrong. Okay. Then which of the following statements are true? IPv6 is highly suitable for scalability and efficient operation of IoT. Yes, it is. IPv6 is suitable. B. Once added to the Arduino board, an Ethernet shell facilitates the board to connect to the internet. Yes, an Ethernet. One second. Right. So IPv6 means how many addresses? 2 to the power 128 addresses, right? So this is obviously essential for the IoT devices and all. Statement B is true because an Ethernet shell, it will give an Arduino board the web connection, right? And static IP addresses cannot be used for IoT devices. That is false. Static IP addresses are frequently used for IoT devices like smart gateways to ensure it remains reachable at fixed addresses. So answer is in option number 2, A and B only. Okay. What is the suitable replacement for the blank in the following statements? By analyzing historical data of a person's previous hotel visits and his or her dash submitted to the social media of the same, okay, an AI-based hotel recommendation system should be successfully able to suggest hotels that the person. Now, based on what they are getting the previous hotel visits, okay, that this person has checked on, and also something else they are using for this system, for this AI-based hotel recommendation to suggest hotel to this person. What else would they use? If you think logically, it would be the review, right? Because that person will not only check the previous hotel is still, right? Not that person, I mean AI. It will be also checking the reviews that was submitted on the social media. So based on the reviews and previous hotel visits and all, this AI based hotel recommendation will recommend that person in future, like in future, or I mean anytime. Like you get suggestions and all to see watch this videos and all. Why? Because in your YouTube history you were watched a video in your from your YouTube history, it is recommending you, right? So if you go and watch a song, then later when you go through a YouTube field or Instagram field, it will be recommending you more songs, right? Likewise, which of the following statements are true with respect to AI, right? AI applications are also computer programs. That is true. Yeah. All AI applications are automatically generated. That is false. Not all. You think logically. When AI technology is used to generate new content, it is suitable to disclose that content was generated by AI. So yes, nowadays, even in social media, when you upload a picture, they have an option which is saying to say if it is an AI image, AI content or not, right? So yeah, when an AI technology is used, it is suitable to say that it was generated by AI. Because there are some people when they see videos, they would believe it is true, but to see it was an AI generated video. So A and C is the answer. Okay, then the last question. Which of the following problems are suitable to be solved using nature inspired computing technologies? Right? Make the monthly payroll of the list of the employees of a large multinational organization. That is obviously what false. They're speaking about nature inspired. So nature inspired in a sense, such as the genetic and algorithm, the ant colony, the swarm and all, right? How they handle, how the ants all gather together, how they work in teams and all. So those are like nature inspired. So this is option number A is unsuitable. This is not something like about a database thing, right? It does not require optimization at all. Okay. The use of autonomous robots to move goods in a warehouse avoiding collisions. This is correct. Right? Because it is using what if you're autonomous robot using a swarm intelligence technology, right? Then scheduling hospital operating theater time slots for the patients in the surgery waiting list. That is false. It is not according to nature inspired computing. So the answer is option number B only. So two, option number 2. Okay. So was that clear? Yes. Go through this entire paper again. Do it on your own. Again, if you're getting stuck with anything, get the recording and watch. If not, if you have any doubts, you can drop me a message and clear it out. Okay. Yes, just let me know if everything was clear, all good so far. Did I go a bit fast? Then if there's one watching through YouTube, all clear? Yes, let me know guys quickly. Are you there? Slept? If not, sleepy, bored, stress is consuming you. Yeah, clear? Okay, great. How about others? So yeah, actually today there are seminars, classes and all going on, but I didn't get another day for me to put this class. That's why I conducted it today itself. Did I go a bit fast or was my explanation not enough? Good, no? Okay then, so I hope this session was worth your time. Yeah, and